What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Anti-Gravity Group podcast. My name is Braden Carlson.
My name is Taylor.
My name is Shane, or as you might know me, Postart.
And my name's Matthew.
Monomat, as he's calling himself this week.
I did, yeah. I'm down with the sickness.
Yeah, that's great, too, because perfect timing, because it's an episode where you actually have quite a bit to talk about. So, finally, the nice folks get to hear from Matt, and he sounds like James Earl Jones. Well, we just got back from Kloudburst. Actually, legitimately, I just got back, like, 2 hours ago or something that from Kloudburst. So, I had to take a detour because there was supposed to be snow in Flagstaff, and I didn't really want to risk that. So I went to Phoenix, and that means on day one, I drove like 15 and a half hours or something like that. It was crazy. There was only 1 hour cumulatively throughout the day that I wasn't in my car. So I was just ready to just
pass away.
I don't know. But then anyway, I got up, got a decent amount of sleep, and then finished the drive home, which is about 6 more hours. And then boom goes the dynamite, as the kids say. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, real quickly, I just want to go over the college kids kind of got their S together this year.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. They really figured out how to two-stage, because I was like, this year for the Argonia Cup, they were doing, there's like a formula for scoring and everything, but basically you're rewarded for taking the most golf balls to the highest altitude. So they all had like minimum diameter, two-stage rockets, and I'm like, are these like what's gonna happen? And they seem like they're all pretty successful. So that was super impressive.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. And they got like some serious altitude on the board as well. K-State won it. I'm gonna go over the winners here in a second, but they had this crazy like parallel wired ignition system for the sustainer with Telemega set up so that it would wait as long as they possibly could to stage based on how good the flight conditions stayed. So they had a few different checkpoint intervals at every so many seconds. And the longest one was 12 seconds. But if the flight started getting off between those checkpoints, it would light the sustainer. And they got the 12-second one. So the rocket was going that straight. Just a huge staging gap. Yeah. It was super cool.
It was
crazy
awesome.
Innovative setup for that rocket.
Yeah, that's wild.
I will say there's not any universities I'm going to specifically cite, but there definitely were still some rather sketchy looking setups involved. But yeah, I'm still a little disappointed. No Wichita State representation. You guys are an hour away from the rocket pasture, so get it together, man. So I'm gonna have a video of I think probably just the Argonia Cup stuff, and then the full launch together. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet, but the Patreon people will be the first to see that. And I also sort of did a behind the scenes style video for the Anti-Gravity Group channel, this channel, showing the traveling and sort of a vlog type of thing. And yeah, it's a good time. So look forward to those. If you want to see those early and ad free, patreon.com/rocketvlogs as usual. Okay, let's look at who won what. Third place was the Purdue Space Program. High Altitude is the name of it, evidently. Their flight achieved 23,572 feet with a payload of 10 golf balls, giving them a score of 44,692. If you need to revisit the podcast where we had Amy and Corey on discussing the Argonia Cup, please do, so you kind of understand. But like Taylor said, in layman's terms, more golf balls, more higher means more points. Second place was CU Boulder's CU in Space team, or the Rocket was CU in Space. Great name either way. 24,290 feet with a payload of 7 golf balls, scoring 44,759. And then Wildcat Rocketry from K-State kind of blew everybody else out of the water, like I was talking about. 7 golf balls to 35,439 feet with full recovery for 61,778 points. So, congrats to everybody. That's so crazy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, especially since there's so many variables in 2-stage rockets. Just there's a lot of chance just on the angle of attack off the pad and what kind of angle you're going to get in that K-State flight. I mean, they had that first one. They had a really good straight flight, and their staging logic allowed them to coast forever before lighting that second stage. So that was super cool.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I
just
think
very optimal.
One of the students, I think he said the actual time from like the booster separation to igniting the sustainer was almost 15 seconds. So
Wow.
that's about as long as you can get away with it, really. Getting real slow up there. But
I wonder how fast it was going when it lit.
yeah, I'm curious too. I can't remember what the motors were. It was L1090 to K250, K270,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, L1090 to, or is that? Yeah, something like that.
It was L1090 for sure. I don't remember what the sustainer was.
One team had a K375.
Yeah, which I think that's what they flew the next day, L1090 K375, because they were trying to get higher, which, by the way, it worked again. They just had less optimal sustainer ignition, so it fired sooner and didn't go higher. But yeah, also, Shane, one of the teams used a CTI K300 for their booster.
That's bold. Did it work?
Worked.
Whoa.
Yeah, not only did the motor work, it
in
staged.
15-mile-an-hour winds.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Was it a Loki K250 on top of that?
No, I think that one had the CTI mellow sustainer, the J94 or whatever.
Oh, right.
Oh.
And then somebody did like a K2050 to an L265. I don't remember. There was an L265 sustainer, which is a great choice. Again, if it worked, but it also did.
Yeah, the K2050
Wow.
booster is such a good choice. That flight was super straight.
Yeah, I was going to say it is a good choice for like a reliable sustainer ignition, but for ultimate goal of being max altitude, it's kind of not a great choice.
Yeah.
But it's the trade-off, though. It's like the hamster dance. Half the time you can win it by just having a flight that worked. So everything's on the table. But yeah, so if you're a college student and you're into rocketry, get some people together. Try and do the Argonia Cup next year because it was super cool. Obviously, we don't know the rules for next year yet, but they do tend to change them a little bit between years. Yeah, so it should be pretty cool. Again, congrats to Purdue, CU Boulder, and of course K-State, our winners. I can't remember. There was a lot of cool prizes. There was like a bunch of cash prizes, some big lock precision kits, bunch of other stuff. But also the K-State Rocky was purple, so big ups for that, obviously. Even though I went to Wichita State, I did have to admit that the K-State logo is way cooler. What does it matter? I didn't graduate. Anyway, let's talk about what we did at Kloudburst, or Kloudbust, as we like to call it. It makes so much sense for the name of the club, for the launch to be called Kloudbust. Legitimately, I thought it was, like the first time I read it. What is Kloudburst an acronym for, Taylor?
Is it?
No, I don't think so, but we can make one up.
Is, right? Airfest is, but
it's cool, loud, obnoxious, underperforming, big, underperforming rockets. So there.
Wait, you skipped D.
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
I was trying to say. It's Kloudburst. Maybe you haven't looked close enough.
I guess not.
Okay. Well, I'll go last. Who wants to go first? Taylor, how was the sumo flight? That big 7.5-inch sumo right next to you.
I didn't fly it. In fact, I did not even.
Oh, Shocking.
Boo.
I know. I wasn't feeling super great about the weather conditions for what I want for the flight of the sumo, so I didn't take it. If I had taken it, I would have flown it, and then I probably would have been unhappy about the recovery situation and how it ground down the entire side of the tube as it got drug across the dirt.
Yeah, that was another variable we hadn't mentioned about all the two-stage workings. It was like the lowest consistent wind we saw was like 12, 15 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It was pretty consistent. There was some big gusts, but like there was not a moment in the day where it wasn't windy. And there was very narrow windows to get a qualifying flight in because of the cloud cover. So super impressive. Also, shout out, what was it, West Virginia? I don't remember. There's a college that flew 2 6-inch O motors, and both awesome.
Yeah. One was West Virginia, and the other maybe Pennsylvania.
Oh, there was 2 different universities with 6-inch motors.
I think so, but I don't
Dude,
know.
this is what we like to see. We need more of this.
Yeah.
There were 3 different. And there was also 3400 by Iowa State.
Well, you almost don't need to mention that. If there's a
they
launch in Argonia, there's Iowa State flying an 3400.
True.
That's just what they do.
Yeah, and I saw Bill said he has 7 more in storage.
Good God.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's crazy. But dude, if only the college teams knew, they would be cracking down at Iowa State. Honestly, they're probably going to try headhunting me before Spaceport this year because I have one. But no, you can't have it. So don't even bother asking. You can't have my N1560 either. Sorry, college kids. That sounds so terrible. ES college kids, those are mine.
Real kind of you.
I keep having to take coughing breaks.
Yeah. Well, take your time.
Yeah, good job, Taylor. Are you drinking some hot honey tea there too?
It's hot honey water.
Oh, that works.
So yeah, I didn't bring the big sumo. I flew. Well, Matt and I drag raced our mini mags on I-300s.
I won.
And that was super fun. Questionable if Matt won. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have to review the footage, but there is like 3 separate times in the clip where Matt says that he won. So he's really just trying to speak it into existence.
We didn't dictate what the rules were. But if we're going by classic first off the pad, then I do believe Matt may have beat me slightly.
This is
which is
always
honestly
the thing
insulting
with drag racing.
because I prepped both of the motors. So
well, then don't be insulted. You won either way.
Yeah,
I thought I juiced mine up a little bit more than his.
Whoa, openly cheating.
Jeez.
Dude, he's doping. Is doping his I-300?
Yeah, well, it
Yeah,
didn't work.
it is.
Well, clearly not. That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Mine had the most complete paint job, so I think I won in that aspect.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This always happens with drag races where people, like, if they didn't leave the pad first, suddenly it's like, well, no, we didn't decide who wins. And then eventually somebody chimes in and goes, it's a drag race, dude. Everyone wins. And then we just, like, all walk away like there isn't some S going down and somebody's trying to weasel their way out of a loss. So sorry, Taylor, you lost.
I lost. But that's okay.
There needs to be
But everybody
more,
wins. It's a drag race.
There needs to be a harder rule for what qualifies as a drag race win.
No, it just generally is whoever leaves the pad first. But then everyone wants to make new ones when they didn't win.
Right. No one does. Who goes the highest? That's,
Or I think who makes it to a certain altitude, at a certain time. I know that'd be difficult to probably do, but
I remember
you gotta pull the data.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when I used to fly with the local NAR club, I one of the guys talked me into drag racing, and or maybe I offered, I don't know. But I made it off the pad first, and then he pulls out like because I guess there's some like there used to be a NAR contest category for drag racing, and it's like combined 3 different things for
Yeah.
scoring. Like
Okay.
I was gonna say,
first off the pad was just one of them. Then it was like
Yeah.
who goes higher, and then who lands
Closest.
closest or whatever.
I mean,
I
that
don't
makes
know.
sense.
yeah, I think it'd be kind of fun to do like bracket racing, where like you like establish
Yeah.
a time on a motor, how long it takes the rocket to take off and then land. It's like you're getting to the finish line, you know.
Mm.
Then you run
Yeah.
into people like reverse doping and just like sliding nose weight into places where it's not
Yeah.
conspicuous. You have to
Reefing
weigh the rocket each
parachutes.
time. Dude, I haven't made people really mad in a long time. Drag racing people, I'm sorry, but bracket racing is like participation trophy drag racing.
Basically.
Heads up, dude. I guess then you're just like, oh yeah, dude, I won a trophy because my car still ran a 13.8. Great. Congrats. I ran the closest to 13.8 all day. And Bob's T-Bird did 14.3 and he timed it 14.5, so he's out. I won.
I think we also learned from that it wasn't technically a drag race. It was just 2 rockets going off at the same time, right? I think he said something like that.
I'm sure he'll want us blasting his name specifically to that loophole. There's a
Well-
good idea.
Well, okay, I didn't realize that would be a problem. You can just beat me out. Boop, spoop.
It's a complex flight, not a drag race.
Regardless, either way, we were at the correct distance for what we were doing, so it's not a problem.
Mm.
It will be funnier for me to bleep that out, though. So I'm probably
Yeah,
gonna
if you
do
could,
that
that'd
just
be
for
great.
fun.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, keep going, Taylor.
So that was my big flight for Saturday, and then we helped you with recovery, and then the
Thank
next
you.
day,
Well, attempted recovery, but we'll get to that.
yeah, I just didn't want to give it all away. And then the next day, I flew my small fiberglass sumo on an I-211, another motor deploy flight.
Interesting.
Well, this is a big one. Look at it. Dang.
Dude, I can't wait for the
I'm
people
sorry.
not watching the video to be really confused. Taylor took another cough break.
Coffee
if you're
break.
just listening.
Maybe just cough with the
Anyway,
mic on.
that was a great flight, and all things were good, and I started to lose my voice because I was getting a cold or allergies or all of both, and
Allergies.
still managed to have a lot of fun. So
Nigel.
I'm
Nigel's
going to tap
chiming
out
in.
there and let someone else talk, so I don't keep having to take breaks to cough.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome because I got like a scratchy throat and a cough, but otherwise felt fine. And then like the day after I showed up, both Sam and Taylor like started coughing a little bit. And I was like, oh no, was I like actually sick and didn't, because I felt fine, but you know, my immune system is just so good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the California air.
So
Yes.
but now the great news is after spending the week there and the weekend in the hotel room with Matt, who, as you can hear now, also has issues. I started feeling a little like S today. So it may have just been coincidental that I had a cough and maybe picked up what Taylor had brought home, or
Yeah.
Or maybe Braden brought it to us and we incubated it and gave it back to him.
yeah, but I'm like, doesn't that not work like that? But yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it's possible.
I don't know, man, but
You cooked
it was
and enhanced
it was very
it.
coincidental.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Postart, get ready to be sick, because
Great.
there's no way I can't just not cough on your coffee mug in the morning. It's tradition.
You're just like holding it in.
I do it every day before you wake up.
Wow.
waiting.
Didn't need to know that.
I can't cough until I find Postart's mug.
Saving up the big morning one for the coffee mug.
Yeah. All right, Matthew August Myers. Or James
Hello.
Earl Jones today.
Yeah,
Tell us
this is
about
James
your
Earl Jones.
Kloudburst flights.
All right. Well, so Taylor, actually, I think I'll start off with saying that like I was a bit distracted going into Cloudburst because of the weather. So I like brought a bunch of stuff, but I didn't really have it. It really didn't feel like I was really going to fly a whole lot of anything because of the weather. But luckily, it ended up panning out to be a much better time than originally observed.
Yeah, I
or
will
whatever.
say if you canceled your Cloudburst plans because the weather looked really bad, you missed out. I don't blame you though, because if I wasn't already there, I would be like, "There's no way I'm driving 22 hours for that to maybe be a good time."
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It
we were
was-
all hesitant. I didn't think I was gonna fly a rocket.
Yeah, I was kind of having that same thought, but then luckily, the day ended up working out. So Saturday, yeah, we Taylor, like Taylor said, we did the drag race of the mini mags. That was fun. They basically landed in the same spot for the most part, not too far apart from each other. So that went pretty well. And then Sunday, I flew my Magnum. Actually, so I had to buy motors, and because I didn't have any more to fly for the rockets that I had. And actually, wait, let me think here. I was trying to remember. Taylor mentioned that he really appreciated a motor deployed flight. And another thing that I thought was interesting was he didn't put a tracker or anything, and he was like, "Oh, I remember doing this. This was a lot of fun." So I thought that was kind of silly and crazy.
Can I interject here for a second?
Yeah,
That
go for
is
it.
both silly and crazy, but not in the whimsical way that you're describing it.
I know. Well,
It's
but
so
his
dumb to
enthusiasm-
have a tracker and not put it in a rocket.
But his
No.
whose
It's the
enthusiasm?
thrill.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no
Thrill, Braden.
thrill.
I
You
got
just-
When I forgot to put the tracker in my 7.5-inch Honest John and almost lost a 10-foot rocket, I wasn't having fun. When I was like, "Wow, great! I can't find it."
when Taylor and I were recovering, he was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool," you know. And I was like, "Yeah, I remember what this used to be like." And then I realized, like, "Oh, yeah, this used to kind of suck, especially in questionable cases." But with the
Yeah,
mini
y'all
mag,
are both ill for that one. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that's actually true right now, but on
We walked right to it, and it was
Yeah.
all fine.
luckily,
well,
it
Matt,
wasn't.
did you have fun last time you flew your mini mag without a tracker and way too big of a parachute? How was
Honestly,
that experience?
yes. You know, sometimes sometimes the recovery is a really a kind of a fun part where you're just like walking through the middle of nowhere. I mean, I haven't flown as many times as you all have, and I haven't had quite as serious of rockets as well. But the recovery process can be really fun, like walking in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, trying to find this thing, and like hearing and seeing rockets launch, half mile or mile away. It can be really cool, I think.
I mean,
But-
I agree. Like that, the big long hike, and that's a lot of fun for me too. But like, it's
Yeah.
only really fun if I have a general idea of where I'm going.
Yeah,
Because then it's just
Absolutely.
aimless, and I'm
Well,
like, wow, this
we,
could go
we
on
had
forever.
a general idea. We saw
We
the
did.
rockets land.
Yes, in this special case, and yeah, I should say that like I'm not gonna be just going trackerless going forward or anything like that. It was for maybe a smaller motor deploy flight. It was fun, but yeah,
I am.
I know when I
Anyone
was
want my tracker? I'm going to chalk.
Yeah, dude,
What?
Chalk and binoculars.
I've got
Like the
an
good old
idea.
days.
binoculars.
Wow,
Got an idea. We let's run a contest at a launch. We see who will fly the highest without a tracker.
And recover.
Dude, that would actually be kind of fun.
It
But you
would.
know someone's gonna lose their rocket.
wow.
You're like, this prize wasn't even worth it. This is stupid, and now my rocket's gone, and it's all your fault.
Like,
What
that's
about-
crazy. You flew it though.
What
Yeah,
about-
you were. Part of the contest
Well-
is how bold you feel like being.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be fun because it would be like, well, how far are you willing to push it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, if we pitch that at an Argonia launch, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, that'll be really fun to have half a dozen rockets get eaten by combines and the farmers be mad at us." Great idea, guys.
Well, to add to the great idea, has anybody thought of like a balloon locating system or like a balloon tracking? You can just spit out balloons.
All right, man. I think we're just gonna go ahead and have you move on to
All
your
right.
next flight.
Okay, so Sunday, So Sunday, I ended up buying some motors, and I got an H220 and an H210. And so I flew the Magnum on an H210 red line. And yeah, it was great. I put my Jolly Logic altimeter in there. It's like the Jolly Logic 2 or something like that. Anyway,
Altimeter 2.
Altimeter 2, thank you. And man, I like the UI on those things. I cannot get right. Like, I don't know, the whole one button enter. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But
have you tried reading the instructions?
Yeah, I read the instructions, but a good UI shouldn't require you to read the instructions. You should be able to it should be more intuitive than that. But that's
software engineers coming out.
Exactly.
Yep.
I needed to get off my.
Let's see you make your own, Matt.
No,
don't. He's never gonna fly a rocket again because he'll try.
That I feel like that market's a little saturated, and I don't really have interest. Anyway. So too much like. So flew the Magnum. It was fun. Pretty seamless recovery, and then my last flight of the day was my Intimidator, which I call the Kloudbust 2000. So I flew that on an H220, and I'm trying to remember. So when I was putting the motor together, I think I ended up realizing that the delay might have been a little bit short for that particular motor in that rocket. But then at some point I was like, well, we'll just see how it goes. And I put it together again. This is a motor eject a deploy setup, and go to put it on the pad. I have a tracker in it. I've got my altimeter, and then I'm able to track or confirm that it's tracking. And anyway, launch the rocket, and we're getting signal for some bit, and then all of a sudden it goes quiet, I think, or maybe not quiet, but it basically.
No, I will interject again here. I took the tracker from you because I realized it was coming in ballistic, and I was like, I don't think Matt knows to panic and try and figure out the flight path is coming down, so you have some semblance of an idea. So I was like, oh God, give me this. So sorry to just God mod your tracker there, Matt. No, I was like, oh no.
That's fine. Honestly, I kind of lost it. I was going from I gotta record this on my phone to the okay, now I'm going to track thing. And yeah, during that time I didn't realize that.
You pointed the wrong way, if I'm going to be 100% honest.
So
that'll get you.
Yeah, and I think you got it on video, where you were pointing and where to go. So anyway, yeah, that was definitely a bit upsetting. And I was like, oh crap. Gotta go do this. So anyway.
Wait, so tell the people what happened.
All right. In the recovery?
Well, how'd the flight end?
Oh, yeah. No, the rocket ended up about 2.5, 3 feet underground. Roughly. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it went. And
wow, that's crazy.
So crazy. Anyway, anyway, yeah, go out. Yeah, I had ended up having to dig it out. How much time should I spend on talking about this?
I know you should talk about it more. Sorry, the silent voice. Coughing face is so hilarious.
Yeah.
You really look like you're about to
me.
Throw up.
Dude, you look like a tomato. That's tough.
Yeah, I'm really not in the best condition to be podcasting at the moment, but
yeah.
we're hanging in there. Just
well,
continue.
I asked.
You asked what?
If we were going to podcast today.
Well, this is a recent development. This started right before I went to bed last night, all the coughing.
Perfect. Well, I asked. No, I did ask yesterday. Yeah, you're right. Well, I'm glad you're pushing through. Thanks. The people appreciate it.
If you're listening onto them, you should watch the podcast just so you can see what's going on here.
Okay. Well, sorry, Matt. Yeah, go ahead and talk about the recovery process because I got some good footage of it actually.
Oh, you did. Oh yeah, you did. So he's left now. Okay. So anyway, it ended up landing pretty close to where the away cell was. As I was walking out there, I thought I was accidentally tracking the rockets on the away cell. Luckily, that wasn't the case. So the first time I tried to go out there, I ended up getting picked up from some guy on a 4-wheeler because they were getting ready to launch rockets on the away cell.
Oh yeah, we were
Yeah.
like, "Who's that out there while they're trying to fly all the college teams?"
Yeah.
And then Taylor came up to me a minute later. He's like, "Dude, it was Matt." I was like, of course."
I kind of got the feeling. Like, okay, nobody's at the away cell, and like things are kind of quiet. Oh, they're probably getting ready to launch this. So I was like listening. I was waiting to hear anything from the flight line. Anyway, the guy came, picked me up, and I got to watch for a little bit. Anyway, watch the rockets go off from the away cell, which was pretty awesome. And then after they flew, then I went back out there, and then luckily, like I wasn't tracking the rockets on the OSL. I eventually get to the Magnum or the Cloud Poofer 2000, and saw the fin can just sticking out of the dirt. So, do you need an interject?
Tough side.
No, I wasn't there. It's your
okay.
story.
And then what? You realized that you cannot dig a rocket out of the ground with your hands.
Yes, I
right.
I pulled the fin can out, and at first when I was pulling it out, I was like, okay, this is coming out a little bit harder. Another note, before I went to go to RSO the rocket, I was worried that the airframe was kind of loose from the booster section, and we ended up adding some tape. Anyway, so I pulled on the fin can. I was like, okay, wow, I had a little bit more give. And then eventually the airframe had a nice crack in the side of it because of the impact. So then eventually I was using the airframe to try to like scoop out dirt around there, but because it was
a
basically
makeshift shovel.
Yeah, it was kind of working, but it was taking way too long. And I was like, I'm going to be out here forever. And at that time, I was seeing the college students also rack up some other rockets. So I hightailed it to the flight line and then asked around for a shovel, got a shovel, and then went back out there and started digging. And as far as I got was to the top of the coupler, and where close to the nose cone, and I ended up giving up on that. So, but luckily I was able to recover my electronics. I got my motor case back, and my Jolly Logic altimeter. Unfortunately, the display's a little bit shifted. It was kind of but it still works. So I guess that's memory.
The tracker works. That's what's really important.
Yes, that was pretty awesome to see. And that was in the ground. Probably it was. Well, no, yeah, it would have been in the ground about 2 feet or something like that, like 1.5 feet, 2 feet, something around there. So anyway, ended up. So I think what ended up happening, at least taking it to Taylor, he looked at it and he saw all the black powder. Basically, the ejection charge didn't go off. A lot of the black powder was still in there, and it was kind of stuck on the tape that I'd used there. And the moral of the story here is, if you're not filling the ejection well all the way, you should use some wadding to keep the black powder closer to the touch hole. So I think that's essentially what happened in that case. So unfortunate lesson to learn, but at least it was
with a way cheaper rocket.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was on a smaller and cheaper rocket.
Get destroyed.
Yeah, so rip. But
yeah,
also,
there is still a possibility that you got a little grease in the hole, or
could be that too.
Didn't clean it between flights, right? So there's some gunk in there.
Yeah, the cleaning. I didn't bring baby wipes, and so my cleaning process was a little bit of spit and tissues.
Oh.
Hey, what are you gonna do? But anyway, that was me.
Now he learned.
That was beautiful.
So I guess I'll talk about my flight then. I brought the 2.6-inch Punisher, my Punisher RV, as I call it. Friend of the pod, David Reese, made me a 5-grain 54K motor, which was really cool. Motor worked really good. It was Cosden slow propellant. He also made a 5-grain 75 and flew it in his 4-inch Punisher. So we had like this little subscale thing going on. That was pretty cool. So anyway, pretty good boost. It was supposed to go about like 13,500 feet. Taylor was tracking it for me so I could film it. And went up, and then we were tracking it for a little bit, and the tracker signal got louder and then disappeared. And that was it, which usually would indicate that the rocket came in ballistic, but I was like, I just refuse to believe that, because as Taylor said, there was nothing sketchy about it. So I just was like, this, I don't know why that would have happened. So my theory then became that like the antenna got ripped off the transmitter or something, or full disclosure, this transmitter, the battery fit has gotten a little funky. It's the LL one. So Shane piled some aluminum foil in there to make better contact with the battery, which afterwards I was like, I mean, there's a chance it just like rattled that foil loose enough that I was like, there's no way it could happen, because it's in the cap that then threads down on the batteries, like, and the whole cap was covered on the inside. Turns out that is exactly what happened. Taylor and Matt volunteered to go look for the rocket. Well, really, Taylor did, and then told Matt to also go
I was
look
gonna
for
do it. I was like, what else am I gonna do? It was fun.
I was convinced I could find it.
It was funny, Matt, you were like, oh, we're gonna go look for your rocket, like all sarcastically, and Taylor was like, yeah, like you were upset about it, and then as soon as you found out it was real, you became excited about it. So I was like, I don't know if I should feel bad or not.
I
But
was just being playful because I was like, "Oh, we're gonna look," but it makes sense. You need a
like, oh,
film
all
to-
right, Rocket, Mr. Big YouTube guy doesn't have to go find his own rocket. So, oh, I gotta
Jeez.
film a video. Well, I did drive 22 hours, so I appreciate that, because that gas wasn't free. That's patreon.com/rocketvlogs. So I posted a picture of it in the Kloudbusters group on Facebook overnight, saying that the rocket had been lost. I didn't believe it came in ballistic. And if anybody found it kicking around while they're out recovering rockets, to please let me know. And towards the late afternoon on day 2, they called my name over the PA, and somebody had found the nose cone, and electronics bay, and all of the shot cord, but not the rest of the rocket. So I was correct. I'd like to state that the antenna got ripped off the tracker. I should be able to just turn it on still. Those batteries last like 2 weeks. I bet it's still transmitting. It's just the antenna got ripped off, so there was no,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just not resonating or whatever out.
But that's what's cool news, is that we have both altimeters back. Actually, it sat overnight in a rainstorm, and the Easy Mini was still on. So shout out to Aldous Metrum, I guess. And the small holes in that small rocket, hopefully not letting a ton of rain in. So I'm going to fire up the Blue Jay and the Easy Mini and look at data. I'm wondering if maybe it was coming down hot or got some nasty horizontal velocity when it fired the drogue charges. Because the Blue Raven was set, if on descent at any point it exceeds 200 feet per second, to fire the main and just try and save it. So there's a possibility that happened, or like I said, bad wind shear and it just turned and had a pretty nasty horizontal velocity. But what happened was the shock cord got ripped off the motor tube. It's kind of funny to me that happened, like only funny to a certain extent, because I did have to sacrifice my 1750 case to David since I lost his, but it's all right. I've got 2 of those. But I always tie a knot before I glue it to the motor tube, because I'm afraid this will happen. And I've actually had people be like, why? You just use a bunch of epoxy. It'll be fine. Now I'm like, why would you not put the knot in there? Because it's just like this free extra level of security. Except for there's not really room for a knot when it's a 54 millimeter rocket with a 2.6 airframe. And so it didn't have one, and it just ripped it right out. So advice for anybody that bought the 2.6 inch Punisher, if you haven't started building it yet, right? You're not doing internal fillets, or you can if you want to, but I didn't do internals. Clearly it doesn't need them. Since you don't need that top centering ring to seal for your internals, move the centering ring up like half an inch, and then do your normal notched recovery spot, but tie a loop all the way around the motor tube and put the knot through that top centering ring notch. That way you have it tied around the motor tube and, again, a knot that won't let you go through. But you have to get crafty. But I do advise finding a way to have a failsafe there. Because you can kind of see it in parts of the video where I built it, but I even put a big glob of JB Weld on either side of the top centering ring because I was afraid that would happen. Turns out it was a pretty rational fear. So
The gist is why not?
and I've always said that.
Yeah.
That's been my motto for, what, decade now?
Minimum.
Yeah. So go ahead and throw some knots in there. Try and save this from happening to you. Let my story be a lesson. The good news is I think it'll probably get found. And as Taylor pointed out, it basically has my name on it because it says Rocket Vlogs Edition under Punisher. So as long as it didn't streamline and come in ballistic, because the ground, like Matt said, was so soft that his rocket was like fully intact and his electronics survived. So if mine came down from 14,000 feet and it managed to straighten out and go really fast, it's probably several feet under the ground. Maybe not actually, with no nose cone on it. Maybe it would have got to the motor case and stopped. I don't know. It'd be going fast. But who knows? Justin Farron's rocket that I found had been sticking out of the ground and then the field got back burned. So maybe there's hope. Yeah. So my 2.6 inch Punisher's gone. What I'm learning here is that I shouldn't be flying small rockets. Although my biggest one that I've just like flown casually did hit 2 trucks. Maybe I need to not fly rockets.
Yeah.
I'll just record
you can't
them.
do that. No way.
I'm going to join
No.
Matt. I quit rocketry for a while.
I have never said I was going to quit rocketry.
Well, you didn't have to say it. We just saw it happen.
When?
After the demon, you
Oh.
didn't seem interested at all for a while there.
Oh, there was some,
Yeah.
upset.
I'll just build rockets and look at them. And then I'll look at my collection of motors that I continue to add to.
Oh.
And I'll be
You
like,
can
wow,
still fly
those would be cool
the,
together.
The big boys.
Yeah, well, it's
Just
I still want to fly my Nike Smoke on the M2250, which is really, really pushing it for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if that should be next.
That probably shouldn't be your next flight.
you should.
Can I use our case, Taylor? Our 5120?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to blow up my old one. That's cool.
What happens when it gets destroyed?
I'll buy another one, I guess.
Okay.
You'll buy
when?
half of a new one as well.
Well, the chances are super high.
Yeah, they're quite
Shane.
high. And
For
the
multiple
chances
reasons.
of
Yeah.
the M2250s, like there's a reason it's an M1830 now.
Yeah.
They kind of used to just explode a little bit.
Yeah, I got lucky
a
that I had
little.
2 of them. Both of them that I flew just worked and they were super awesome.
I mean, a lot of people flew a lot of them and they were okay.
There were a lot of them that were not okay.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
I mostly saw ones that were not okay.
Yeah, we'll see. But like, if the Nike Smoke dies that way, then at least I'm fulfilling my teenage dream of attempting to fly that motor in that rocket. As long as the nose cone survives, I'll be mostly okay with it. But also, like the 5.5 inch Nike Smoke nose cones that we saw at a certain vendor's house that we go to sometimes, very thinly veiled, kind of makes me be like, all right, well, like if all the S hits the fan, I'll build a fiberglass one because it looks really cool. I'll 3D print some fin attachments and make them look correct, and then I'll paint it black anyway just to make Taylor sad. Okay, well, Postart was not at Kloudburst, so you didn't fly anything.
We've got no stories. Got nothing.
What would you have flown?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm trying to convince him
Maybe-
for Airfest to bring his 3-inch Punisher and fly the J800 off the 30s.
That's
pads.
what I was about to say. That's like the only thing I've got. I probably would have brought it.
Well, I mean, I've got a bunch of rocket motors, honestly, if you're looking for a loaner. There's a decent amount out there.
That would have been a cool flight. I would have liked to see that. That was
Just picture
definitely-
it in your head.
Yeah, I kind of learned what the J800 was like. It was like,
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
solid.
solid one.
Thank you.
Kind of like my K2045 impression, but
Can we get that one more time?
yeah, it goes.
Okay, right.
Okay, well, I wanted to pitch something here. Somebody was talking about what our plans are for Airfest, and I think it's kind of expected of us to fly a big giant rocket at this point, and obviously we're all kind of upset that we're not doing that.
Who said we're
keep
not
saying
doing that?
upset?
Yeah,
till
upset.
Huh?
Was there official conversation that we were not doing that?
Well, no, that's what I'm asking about now. I have some suggestions because, like, it was kind of fun to just regular rocket fly one of the giant rockets. We could fly the Arcus again.
That's sort of what I was thinking.
I would like to point out that I don't know if I should say where, but there's a few motors available. One of them being the M2505 White Thunder, the 3-grain 98.
But we don't have a case.
Oh, the big nozzle doesn't cross load, huh?
Oh,
The
Wait.
CTI.
Does that one have a big nozzle?
It might not. The 3-grain? How bold are we feeling? There's an M520.
oh. No, not
We're gonna
that
have
bold.
to put some stuff around it.
Yeah.
DUI 357s, first motion air start, the M520.
But what about a M2400?
Your Nike Smoke's not going to be ready by Airfest?
I don't know.
Are you sure you don't know?
It could be, but
Uh,
I don't know. Yeah, Chris Short had an N3300 in the trailer. That'd be kind of crazy.
Are-
We'll go
are
like
you thinking-
11,000 feet.
you're already thinking single motor flight?
It was kind of fun, like just how easy it was. So I wouldn't be mad at it as a concept.
I just think, a 5-motor flight would be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Easy
The
to
problem
screw up.
is acquiring and buying those motors because Postart and I are moving and you're trying to build another house. So, like, I understand that you've got pockets full of house money, as the song put it. And as we all know, Matt's got Garmin money.
yeah.
But Postart and I have that Southern California moving to Southern California money, and it's not as good looking, let me
Yeah.
tell you.
Hmm.
Really bad looking, actually.
Dude, AMW has 2 M4500s. That'd be
I don't
kind
want
of
to fly it on
sick.
just an M4500.
Well, Air Start 3.
Now we're air starting.
Well, we can't do 3. I was going to say we could do some long burn 54s or something, but that would require 54 millimeter motor tubes that aren't full of holes. So that would need to be addressed first.
Well, I'm gonna fix that.
What about 4 I-435s with the M4500 or H550s?
Oh.
It's so hilarious to have a 98 and then just 4 38s.
Yeah, doing nothing.
Dude, they wouldn't be doing nothing. That rocket went 8,500 feet on 12,000 Newton seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it would fly fine on just 4 I-435s. Okay, well, let us know in the comments what you guys think we should fly on the Arcus. But remember, we don't have any money. Well, Postart and I don't.
Can we use
The
your
house money, the Garmin money.
M2500?
Huh?
Can we use your M2500?
No.
Why? What if we pay for it?
Yeah, that's crazy because you were just talking about you don't know what you're going to do with it.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah,
I told you I wanted... No, I wasn't. I said I have to figure out what I'm going to do with it, but I already have a good idea. I want to take it to Idaho and put it in the Dark Star.
Oh, I don't remember you saying that.
What
No,
if
maybe listen with your ears and not your A? How's that?
Okay.
Maybe get a haircut so those ears aren't filtering out the
Wow.
sweep that
Don't
I
listen.
say.
Wow.
don't listen to him, Postart? Don't
Yeah,
do
listen to James Earl Jones.
it. Yeah, don't do it.
Listen to the Garmin engineer that smoked 3
Yeah.
packs of cigarettes
Yeah.
this morning.
Yeah, basically, that's my pre-work
Only
routine.
3?
Hell yeah.
Your pre-work routine.
Yeah, and a cup of coffee to wash it all down.
Yeah, that's good. You don't want cigarette breath. You want coffee cigarette breath when you get to work.
Well, okay, you have a K1100, right, Braden?
I do.
And Postart has a J800.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
if we do I'll get a K1100, Matt can get a J800, and then we'll just do two K1100s, two J800s, and then we can put an M2400 in the middle.
That would be kind
That
of
would be sick.
Do you think it wouldn't just shred?
No, because it won't go that fast. The impulse isn't that high, but the acceleration will be gnarly.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Acceleration never folded a rocket.
Yeah, you're right.
Not yet.
Dude, the M2400 burns for a while because it's a 98.
Yeah, it's like 3.5 seconds, I think.
That feels like more than enough with 4 more Blue Thunder motors giving it a good kick to just boop.
No.
Oh.
It went faster on the first flight.
Did it actually though? Because half
Yeah.
the burn it didn't have a nose cone.
Well, yeah, but the nose cone came off at max Q basically.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. It's like
Here.
my Honda record. It didn't make 300 horsepower on 3 cylinders. Just because one came out of the block after I drove it off the dyno doesn't mean it didn't do it.
Oh no! Now you did it, Braden.
I brought up Hondas to the Subaru guy, and he's almost going to
He's having
throw
a
up.
coffee fit.
He's
What is-
gagging,
What is he doing now? What does this look?
trying to breathe.
Yeah. What, is he Googling how do I breathe?
I think so. All right. Well, I think that pretty much is going to bring us to an end. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode today, but 3/4 of the hosts seem to be sick. So, and Postart was just born sick. So,
You know it.
Yeah.
My name is Braden Carlson. You can find me. Oh, go ahead.
I have one more suggestion for people to add in the comments below,
Okay.
wherever they are. If you want to come up with an idea of how can we earn money to afford more flights for big rockets, that would be great. If it's selling lemonade at a lemonade stand, or if the anti-gravity group gets together and does a cook-off, like a burger cook-off, yeah, or we sell popcorn like the Boy Scouts. Oh, I mean, like a certain group.
These are all bad ideas.
Dude,
Hey,
I'm telling
just-
you, the telethon.
There we go. We're gonna do the telethon too.
The Smoking Tire just did their 1000th episode, and they did an 8-hour live podcast.
Yeah.
I think we could do that.
Or they had Jay Leno on. You think we could get Jay Leno?
And they had Jerry Seinfeld the episode before that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty absurd. I think we could
We
get
could.
both of them.
Yeah,
though.
we've got
At the
enough
same
pull for
time.
those guys.
I just ran the sim, by the way, and
Oh, that's what he was Googling.
Yeah.
it does.
Him.
It's more or less exactly the same as the N2801. So,
Wait, really?
Oh.
except with way more acceleration, 20 G's off the pad.
Is it not? Is it not going to fold, Taylor?
Absurd.
But the 900 feet per second and about 9,000 feet.
Okay,
Wow.
but you do realize that max Q isn't only a factor of speed, right? Like, there's still going to be an S load and probably way more stress on the airframe than with that end motor that did what, 9 Gs on takeoff?
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm not concerned.
the whole upper half of the rocket would theoretically weigh over twice as much as it did accelerating on the end motor.
Yeah, but if you look at our first flight,
How's that look?
we had 13 G's.
I mean, that's not when the nose cone came off, I guess. But who's to say if we weren't
And
like
it went
real
faster.
Yeah, but we could have been real close to that bottom tube, right where the coupler goes in, just being like, this ain't it, and just
Whoa.
could be just enough.
I'm willing to take the chance.
Ooh.
All right,
That'd be
we'll
pretty
put-
sick.
We're gonna put our shared
works?
7680
Then we'll-
case in there.
Then we'll be like, oh my god, that was so cool.
We're
You know,
only
yeah, it
going to
would
use
be cool.
Taylor's cases for that flight.
Yeah. Just
You know
all
what?
Taylor's cases.
In a way, Taylor does store the rocket. So I guess maybe this could be a reason for him to want to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that he kind of hates the Argus.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool, but he's also like, well, he, for one, tried to burn it down
No.
with the flimsy paper motor tubes that we clearly didn't learn from with the Punisher. But what do I know? What do I know? Anyway, my name is Braden. You can tell us in the comments what you want to see the Arcus fly on at Airfest. You can find me on YouTube at Rocket Vlogs. Don't forget, it's now April. It means you only have to the end of this month to buy a t-shirt or anything else from RocketVlogs.com to enter to win the Wildman L3 Dream giveaway. I shouldn't say it like that. It's not sponsored by Wildman, but there's a Extreme Wildman Aero Pack retainer, shock cord, and $100 Wildman gift card. I have more merch coming to the website as well. There's already postcards with the screenshot from my rocket at 47,000 feet. It's really cool. It says "Wish you were here," and then the Black Rock, Nevada. I just made a postcard, but with a picture of the Earth from my rocket. Pretty sick. And there's stickers on the way as well of the same logo that's on the shirts. Every dollar you spend is one entry. And the list of people that have entered, I think it's still, I'll have to double check. It's still only like 20 something people. So like, just getting your hat in the ring gives you a pretty decent chance at this point. Although there are some people that have a bunch of entries because of the amount of money they spent, but you can't win if you don't try. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's RocketVlogs.com, or you can get points by buying stuff from Shane at HPRTools.com as well. Taylor, take it away.
My name is Taylor, and you can find me on YouTube at the Rocket Channel and here coughing till further notice.
Cool.
Nice.
When are you going to put the Skeeter video up?
As soon as I have time to edit, so
Next
soon
week.
as you don't
it's
feel
supposed
like
to rain
ass.
all weekend, so
Oh.
yeah. We'll
Get
see.
a nice sick voiceover in. Be great.
Yeah, a bunch of coughing.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of coughing. Yeah, that'd be great.
You're like, anyway, so this is how I made the mold.
My name is Shane, or Postart. Like Braden said, $1 or one entry for every dollar you spend at hprtools.com into the level 3 dream giveaway. You can also find me on YouTube at Postart Propulsions and on Instagram at Shane Harris Photo.
No purchase necessary to enter. View websites for full contest rules and regulations.
And that's what I normally sound like. But I'm Matthew, and you can find me right here.
We are the Anti-Gravity Group. This is the Anti-Gravity Group podcast, and we will see you all next time.
We might just hear from Nigel the Rocket Cat. Load up the professional masterpiece, you can bet on that. A launch and a chat with them is guaranteed to be a blast. It's the Anti-Gravity Group podcast. Ooh.